LOR of recommendation from your professors. Okay, and when I say LOR, when you get in contact with us, we will give you LOR samples. But what I would like to highlight is when you get a LOR from your professors, it needs to be mentioned how you were an asset in the institution or how good you were with regards to your academics. So LOR has to say something specialized about you. Then another, when you write your SOP, statement of purpose, okay, that is a very key factor, or what we could say is the highlighting fact. SOP, I would say that it is your representation. They are not seeing you physically. When they read an SOP, they get an image of what kind of a student will be having in our university. So SOP should not be very elaborate. It should be crisp, but at the same time, it should highlight points like why you chose that university, why that course. These are two key factors which should be able to upskill your SOP. Then another, yes, these language certificates. If you do, there are certain courses. Of course, you will be choosing where the medium of instruction is English. But I would always recommend all the students to please take up German language classes. The reason being, you're going to live in a country where German is the mode of language, and at least for your survival, you need to know that. And there are few subjects which may be taught. I mean, it is being taught by the German professors. So to understand the accent, there are many key reasons why you need to know the language. It's not mandatory, but at least you need to know the language. Coming to the visa part, okay, German visas right now, the VACs are closed because of the pandemic, but we are looking forward to by mid-June or end of June at least, the application centers should open up. Bangalore does have a soft opening, but appointments are an issue. With regards to the documentation, once you get in touch with us, we will help you with the process. Main thing again, you have to write your visa SOP. Now that is another one area you need to work on. The other documentation is your blocked account. Now Germany has something called, of course, I'm sure many of you all must have done your research. Germany has something called blocked account, which is mandatory, which is imposed by the government, that before you come to the country, the money has to be deposited in the blocked account. The requirement is 10,363 euros, but with the charges, it comes to approximately 10,500 euros, which in Indian currency would come to approximately 9 lakhs. Once you're in Germany, you need to open your savings account, and every month from your blocked account, 863 euros would be transferred for your monthly expenses. So that is again a mandatory thing which needs to be done before you start your visa process. I think Dr. Guru has already come in.
Yeah, thank you, Seema ma'am, for covering up for me. There was a little bit of a problem with the YouTube live stream. A lot of students have joined there. So, so I believe Seema ma'am have given you a rough idea about how your visa area works. Of course, we'll be discussing a little more about that in a little while. Coming back to the universities and the options that you find. See, there are roughly about 90 to 100 universities of Germany out of top 1,000 universities in the world. Now, how many universities are there across in the world? There are roughly approximation is about 72,000 universities. Out of 72,000 universities, top 100 out of top 1,000 in the world is from Germany. That's the level of education that they have, and majority of them, all these are free of cost. That's something that is what makes us feel wondered. Now, What are the requirements? See, if you are getting into top universities, you need to be top. As simple as that, right? There is no other option, no other concept, thought that you can think of. Now, I'm sorry. Uh, when you say about preparation, your preparation has to be one. Of course, you need to prepare on your English language, that is IELTS, and or your aptitude skills. Now, GRE is the exam, aptitude exam, that is usually expected in the top universities. In the flip book that I will be, or my colleague will be sending you after a while, there is a list of universities in which it is specifically mentioned which universities are expecting you to write GRE, which universities it is not mandatory, but if you write, it is always good, and then which are the universities that don't require GRE. But you writing GRE is always a plus point because it is seen as you are a serious candidate. You can obviously take GMAT if you are going for management program, MBA, but considering the toughness between GRE and GMAT, GRE is always better because GRE is for 340 score, out of which they are just evaluating on two factors, that is verbal and quant. When it comes to GMAT, it is one level above GRE, just like our CAT, a little higher version than CAT, and it's a little difficult. And mostly German universities expect GMAT of a score of 640 and above out of 800, which is again very difficult to achieve. 500 plus itself is difficult in GMAT. So GRE about 310 and above is considered a good score out of 340. So that's about your aptitude test. When I was telling GRE, I'm repeating again, not all universities want it. If you are wanting to get into TU9 universities, like I told you, TU Munich, you get in there, your life is set. Minimum salary is 80,000 euros. Most of the times, the same German company which hires you puts you at a very high position back in India or Middle East. That is the level of requirement that they ask for. Well, GRE, some universities have waived off, but majority of the top-ranked universities, they still expect you to write GRE. That's something that they are not compromising with. Some of the universities, yes, which I have already mentioned. I'll be sending you the flip book, by the way, Drishika. In that flip book, you will get to know where all it's not mandatory. They have waived it off. It's not a burden for you. So that's one. Second thing, there are about 17,000 odd programs in these 351 universities, in these public universities. Now, out of that 17,000 odd, majority of them are taught in German, but there are about 88 programs which are taught in English. Now, that is the main focus area of majority of the Indians like you and me. So basically, the main reason is German is not our mother tongue or second language. Hence, we find it difficult to learn entire German within a short period of time. Of course, when you go there, you would have to learn German because if you are in the water, you got to swim. So for you to get a part-time job or at least to know people, talk to people, you got to learn the basic language skills. But otherwise, if you're getting into the 88 programs which are taught in English, just English is enough. That IELTS is enough. But however, we always recommend, if you're choosing Germany, there are certain things you would see. You're getting education for free, highly paid potential job opportunities. Skill shortage is already there in that country. So everything is like a road of roses for you. So to get into that road of roses, you got to do a little bit of hard work here. So the hard work which comes in is in the form of probably preparing for GRE, getting higher scores, getting the right documentation, and of course, if you learn German, it's always a plus, right? Then each university, like I told you earlier, every university have their own entrance qualification requirements. Then comes your biggest tension, that is visa. Every 4 applications, visa applications out of 10 applications get rejected. So I'm very thankful to Seema ma'am because I have a very efficient resource. She makes sure that means we have 100% visa success rate, not just Germany, every country that we have been doing. So I'm very thankful to her and her team. But visa is one of the biggest headaches for all the students that we know of. First of all, German is an alien language for you. So you find it hard to identify what terminologies and all those things. Even with your university applications, that's where a lot of university applications gets rejected. At the same time, second thing is visa. And then another thing which you have to always focus on, or you would have to worry about, is proof of financial resources. I understand that there were a couple of comments in the registration already that some students had written they were very keen on attending the webinar, and because it is free of cost education, they have higher scores, but their family doesn't have enough money. See, this is where one challenge you would have to, I would say, absorb, or your family would have to look through how to work out on this. To work out on this, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We know different means of funding, wherein you can go to those people or those banks and identify for or get them to fund you for your program. Now, what is proof of financial resources? See, your tuition is free, but Germany has a very strict condition that if you're coming into country, come with 1 year living expenses. Whether you spend that money or not is up to you. We will not inquire about that. We don't want you to. The whole idea is if you don't get a job, you should not be on a footpath. You should be able to sustain. So for that, they expect you to, have roughly about 10,600 odd euros in your account. It's called blocked account. Now, what happens is it gets into the money before applying for visa. That money has to be put, and that blocked account details has to be submitted along with your other documents for your visa. Now, that money, what happens every month? A part of that money gets released for next 12 months. So that is your money only, but it's blocked in Germany. For this, roughly about 9 to 9.5 lakhs is something that you would have to worry about. Now, again, for this, there are different ways and methods for you to arrange for your funds. Of course, your relatives can be of your help. There are other sources of funding. Even the banks give you 7.5 lakh non-collateral loan. So these are the things that you can look out for. Then other than this, you also have to work out on your health insurance. That is another compulsory thing. If you're going to Germany or any other country for that matter, health insurance is something they all expect you to take care of. So these are the requirements. Now, when it comes to entrance tests, I already told you, ideal score if you're going for IELTS is 7 to 7.5. This is for public universities, not for private universities or semi-public universities. Public universities expect you to score high. So 7 to 7.5 out of 9. GRE 300 to 310 depending on the university and the region you are going for. And German, if you can start learning even now, if you are in your final semester or if you are already graduated, for A1, my students that I'm being sending, roughly they take anywhere between 2 to 3 months, depending on their level of understanding the subject or the language. A1 they complete in 2 to 3 months, and A2 they complete in another 3 to 6 months. So even if you come up to A2 level, that is extremely good. Means especially for those universities which are teaching in English, because A2 is decent English, decent German, where you can speak to people slightly, at least in a hi hello manner, so that people can understand your that they know that you're showing interest towards learning their language. Then they get impressed about it. So getting a part-time job and all becomes easier. So I hope you got clarity on the requirements for your application. Like I was telling you, roughly about 17,000 odd programs, out of which 88 programs are taught in English. And it's always advisable to know a little bit of German. And another important factor that you guys have to remember is there are 2 intakes in Germany. One is in September, October. Another one is in March, April. September, October is called as autumn. March, April is called as summer intake. Now, I am pretty much sure that you cannot join September, October batch if you are in your final semester now, because of the pandemic and all, you don't know your exam dates, and there are a lot of confusion with respect to your process. Your visa itself will take anywhere between 3 to 4 months. Plus, you need to have your PDC at least. I think even you should have a convocation certificate, but at least a PDC to apply for your visa. Completion certificate, your provisional degree certificate to apply for your visa. So that is one requirement. Now, cost of living in Germany, like I told you earlier, roughly anywhere between 600 to 800 euros per month, 6,000 to 8,000 euros roughly per annum. And I'm telling this money for a moderate living, not a biryani life every day, a moderate living where you are going with a shared accommodation with your friends and having a good, decent life. So this is about your cost of living and how much you which intake you can go for. Uh, Ideally, all those students who are applying for this year, our recommendation is do not go for September, October. It is already late, honestly speaking. Even if you get an offer, we usually recommend our students to apply for a deferral and go for summer intake, that is March, April intake. So that's about your intake for this year, only for this year, not for the next year. Now, how do you start preparing for your application? These are certain important factors that you have to focus upon. One, get all your academic transcripts in order. If you don't have a semester mark sheet, or if you have missed it, if there is a problem and all those things, get all those sorted out. Second thing, you've got to get your course completion certificate. If you're in a final semester, wait for it. If you already have completed, you have not been submitted, you have not gotten that course completion certificate, at least your provisional degree certificate, get that one from the university or your institute. Then third, if you are already working, there are a couple of people who are already working here. Yes, if you are working, you got to get your work experience certificate. It depends upon course to course. If you're going for MBA, you would require a job experience, especially if you are getting into, I would say, little top ranked universities. They expect you to submit a work experience. Yes, 2 years will do for MBA. And MIM also doesn't require a work experience. You can get into MIM easily. Now, that's with your work experience requirements. IELTS and GRE, like I told you already, you got to get your IELTS and GRE or GMAT scores, whichever is suitable for you. Again, I'm repeating, I have been telling this again and again because a lot of students get confused with this. GRE is not absolutely mandatory, GRE or GMAT. IELTS is mandatory, no choice with that, IELTS or TOEFL. But however, with respect to GRE or GMAT, only few universities accept them or require them. Now, all those universities which require them are among the top universities. Just like CAT is not mandatory for all across India, but all those universities which want you to write CAT are top ranked universities. As simple as that. You got to look at this logic. Then, of course, English test cards, I told you about it. Then CV, you got to write a CV which is in European format. There is a particular format which usually we help the students with. You got to write a CV. Indian format is not accepted, or global format is also not accepted. Then there is a LOR, a letter of recommendation. See, and your letter of motivation. Now, this is where critical factors come into picture. Now, you want to get into admission or get admitted into top ranked universities, like for example the TU9 universities that I have been telling. This year application ratio that we got to know of is, for every seat there is 1609 applications, not per college, per seat. So that is the level of competition you are basically getting into. Now, how do you beat that competition? Level one of beating that competition is with your academic scores. Level two, if you have work experience or any internships, level two. Level three, your aptitude tests like GRE, GMAT, or IELTS. Level four, which is the most important factor, is your letter of recommendation and letter of motivation or statement of purpose. Of course, they will look into your CV as well. Now, how LOR and LOMs matter. Now, whatever letter of recommendation you get from your professors, there has to be a connection between that and your letter of motivation that you are writing, why you deserve this course and this particular program should be a match. Like, for example, in your letter of motivation, you would have written something like, I was not just active academically, but extracurricular activities also I was very active. I was involved in an NGO which was involved in beach cleaning, for example. I'm just giving you an example. Now, in one of your letter of recommendations by your professors, that same thing has to be there, saying like, he is a very active student. One of the things that has impressed all of us most is he is very much involved in an NGO for the activities of beach cleaning. Now, letter of recommendation has indirectly validated your point in letter of motivation. Because when it comes to letter of motivation, that is your own statement, you can write anything. You can even write that I am God. But who is there to validate that? Your professors are there to validate that. So they look at that as a validation. That is the critical things that you will have to look at. I hope you all are clear about how important that is. Then, of course, your passport with a validity of at least 2 years in hand. These are the important documents that you got to ready with. I hope I'm being clear for you all. Now, we have already covered this slide, so I'm going to skip the slide. This is about the blocked account, cost of living in Germany. I think we have addressed that, Wilbur. The same thing, what we told, like, you need to keep roughly about 10,600 odd euros in the blocked account, and every month on month, 853 euros comes to your account. Means you can either use it, or if you're already working, if you're taking care of yourself, send that money back to home. As simple as that. So I hope we are clear with this. Now let's come into the most important discussion of the day, that is your DART scholarship. Now, DART scholarship is one of the biggest scholarships in the world. Two letter of recommendations are mandatory, Sam. So when you talk about DART scholarship, it's a German academic excellence scholarship. In 2018, they gave away 522 million euros in scholarship for over 140,000 scholars. That is majorly known for PhDs. Okay, that is specifically giving scholarship to only masters and PhDs, not for undergraduate students. So it's very focused on the skills that you are going to acquire at the top. Now, the scholarship usually entails 861 euros for graduates, that is master students, and if you are a PhD student, 1,200 euros. Now, that scholarship is given for your living expenses, not for your tuition fees, because tuition fees is already taken care of, that is free of cost. Now, what DART scholarship entails is, it's the whole intention is just this. If a student comes from a underdeveloped or a developing country like ours, because they are all coming from middle class families, their major focus will be on part-time work, and they will lose focus on their research that they are doing in their masters or in their PhD, and they will put themselves into only part-time jobs. So this whole idea of DART scholarship is give them this scholarship so that they defocus themselves from working part-time, but focus themselves on academic activities and research activities so that they contribute to the society. Now, there is a condition in that as well, that if at all still you insist and you say like, no, I want to go work because I'm given 20 hours per week. If you work, they will deduct that money. Like, for example, say you work part-time and you earned about 600 euros per week. Now, that 600 is deducted in your DART scholarship and they'll give you just 261 euros. I hope you all understood the whole concept of this, right? So that is how DART scholarship works. So if at all you get DART scholarship, which is a possibility for most of our students, a lot of my students have gotten DART scholarship, and they're actually studying and enjoying at the same time, with not bothering themselves with working part-time or struggling so much like other students. You got to make sure that you focus on your education, and that is again focused more on the STEM areas like science, technology, math, engineering, and math. Any of these areas, especially aerospace engineering, these are all the emerging areas that they are focusing on. Now, usually that scholarship, this year's scholarship is going to end by applications for that scholarship is going to end by 15th of July. That scholarship only comes into picture once you have an offer letter, a valid offer letter from the university. Again, I have to repeat this. DART is eligible for those universities which are in the top ranked universities. Of course, about 290 universities are accepted, but their preference is always for the top ranked universities, the students who are getting into top ranked universities. They are basically looking at the work that the government is spending on you. Yeah, I hope you all are clear. Now, when it comes to Indian option, just give me a minute. I'm very sorry. Okay, so when it comes to Indian option, there are roughly about 86 different scholarship options in different categories, not just one or engineering areas. Even in medicine they are giving, even in humanities also they are giving. But yeah, the contribution level decreases. Like for example, they spend massively on engineering areas. The DART scholarships are given massively on engineering, especially on the PhD areas. Like about 40 to 60% is given for just engineering. Then it gets reduced for medical, and then it gets reduced to humanities and commerce. Now, in India, if you have to become eligible for that scholarship, your sources of income, your family's source of income, has to be lesser than 6 lakhs. That is one thing that you will have to look at. There are many other scholarships within India also, guys. You guys have to know that one, okay? Yes, even if you get that scholarship, you got to get your blocked account done. The whole reason is, in case for some reason in between your DART scholarship gets cancelled, the blocked account is your backup. That is the whole idea behind it. But however, the blocked account money, you will get it back over the period of time. I hope you got the clarity on that, Imtiaz. Now, coming back to DART, excellent means DART already have identified a list of institutions within India, which are considered as, you can give away directly DART scholarship if they are getting into particular universities of their list. Now, among them, the good news for you guys is 2 of Mangalore-based institutions are already there in the list. One is Manipal and another one is NITK. Then in Karnataka, if you look at IIT Dharwad is considered, IISc Bangalore and Amrita Vishwavidyapitham Bangalore. These are considered within Karnataka. But in Bangalore, MIT and NITK is already considered as institute of preference, which means to say you are a graduate of MIT or NITK, and you have applied to, say, for example, TU Munich. So you become a frontliner for accepting that scholarship. Means they would possibly not look into other backgrounds. This is the whole idea. I think you got the idea. International programs funding in the year 2021. They are open. That scholarship is open for roughly about 2,000 odd year programs. There are 215 participating institutions. Now, this again matters. What that does is, it's a very prestigious scholarship. Just like how Fulbright scholarship is for US, British Council scholarship is, or Chevening scholarship is for UK, on which also we will be doing different webinars eventually. That's why I would recommend you guys to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because all our discussions are uploaded on YouTube, and also we do a live webinar and everything. We put it on Facebook as well. So please do subscribe, do these 2 things. We'll be discussing about Fulbright scholarship, Chevening scholarship, British Council, whatever scholarships are there. The whole idea is to give away all those information that we know of. Anyways, coming back to our discussion here. Now, every year, there is a set of rules that these institutions also will have to follow with respect to that scholarship. And what they do is, if whichever institutions follow, their programs become available, or participating institutions for this year. Some institutions miss, they become participating, they get ready for the next year and they become participating institutions. For 2021, the number of institutions which have become eligible for participating is 215 institutions in 68 subject areas across 160 cities in Germany. So this is the whole information that is about DART. Now, DART is not the only scholarship for Germany. Okay, many students have this misconception. That is what I wanted to break that thought process. There is another scholarship which is called as a wonderful scholarship called German Grant Scholarship. Now, this scholarship, what they do is they give you roughly about 300 euros per month. That is not enough, but they don't have a restriction of not working part-time. So that's another plus point, because see, many a times part-time is not just for earning money. Part-time could also be for you to enhance your exposure to what you're learning. Plus, part-time, many a times for a lot of my students, at least 90% of my students, part-time has worked as a networking base. They build their relations, network through part-time jobs and get into full-time jobs. So it is very critical sometimes to get into part-time jobs as well. And this particular scholarship doesn't restrict you from that scholarship, from that part-time scholarship, part-time jobs that you are supposed, or you can do for 20 hours. Now, this German grant scholarship was given to 27,000 students in 2018. 2019 was a bust. 2020 was also a bust. So 2021, we are hoping that something will happen, but we don't know how it will go on. But every year they give away about 27, roughly about anywhere between 20 to 25, 27,000 students this scholarship. The German government gives away this scholarship. Um, to become eligible to apply for the scholarship, you got to be there in Germany. You can't apply for the scholarship from India or any of the countries outside India. Once you get into the country, that get into the university there you got to go to Student Services Department. When you get into Student Services Department, there you request for the scholarship and then you take it forward. That is how it is. This particular scholarship works. I hope you got clarity about this scholarship. Then there is one more scholarship. This is called, community for, helping students living in Germany. This scholarship is just for about 10 students, not many. But the best part about this scholarship is it practically takes care of entire thing for you. Means you're not investing a penny. Even your blocked account also they support you with. So, but this is for very limited students. Not everybody applies for this. I just wanted to put this across so that you guys know there are options. There are many other scholarships other than these scholarships, like private scholarships from across different NGOs and non-governmental organization scholarships. But you got to do a little more research on that. If you need more support on particular scholarships, do let me know. One-on-one, I will definitely help you out with. Most of the scholarships we ideally would have gone through, or we would know some student who have taken it. Now, coming back to our, I hope you all are clear about cost of living, the scholarships, and about public universities. Now, one important thing, not many people would tell you this, is, see, Germany was till early 1990s, till 1989. Germany was broken into two parts. Most of you, I don't know if you know about this or not, it was East Germany and West Germany. East Germany, though they were part of Germany, East Germany was majorly influenced by the communist forces, that is from Russian side. And West Germany was majorly, influenced by the capitalist forces, that is the Western side, that is UK, France, US, majorly US. They were like this. Now, in 1989 or 1990, early 1990s, with the fall of breaking down of the Berlin Wall, East and West Germany got merged with each other. But though they have merged with each other, the differences remains vastly between East and West Germany. East Germany is majorly influenced by the socialist nature, like there are employee unions and all. Cost of living is a little low. At the same time, cost of earning is also little low. Earning capacity is also little low. But at the same time, when you talk about the West Germany, it's majorly influenced with the capitalist forces. Hence, cost of living is high, earning level is also high. So when a student chooses a university, we usually recommend them to look at the geographical factors. Which are the universities located? Which are the companies located nearby to that university? What industrial sector is located near the university? All these factors come into picture. You got to be very careful about these things when you're choosing your university. That's why, yes, please do go ahead, Hussein. Thank you so much for being here. Pray for all of us. Let this pandemic get over very soon. So coming back to the discussion, now you got to look into. That's why what we do with our students is we tell them that if you're apply for at least 5 to 10 universities, not very limited universities. Then you get choices. Maybe 2 or 3 universities you will get offer. Out of the 2 or 3, then next level research we have to do. What we have to do is we have to look at whether there is an industrial sector nearby. Where is your university located? Is it in a rural area, semi-urban area, urban area? All these things you will have to look at. Now, yes, some universities have application fees, some universities don't have application fees. But nowadays, majority of the applications go through UniAssist, wherein your application fees for first university will be 80 euros and second university onwards, it will be 30 to 35 euros. So that's about your application fees. Kaushal, I think I answered your question. So I hope you guys got clarity about the geographical part of Germany. Now let's come to another important part. Not all of you are going to get the DART scholarship. Let's be very realistic, or German grad scholarship, because the competition is pretty high. Now, how do you make sure that you get the right part-time job? See, the smartest way is to learn a critical skill. Now, when I say a critical skill, it can be a different type of skill. Now, there is two factors that you have to again consider here. One, whatever you're going to study for. Like, for example, uh, some of you would be looking for something like, you're getting into aerospace engineering or aeronautical engineering or say mechanical engineering, mechatronics or automobile. Now, that itself is a critical skill, but that is for your longer term, right? After your completion of your degree, you get into a good industry and so on and so forth. Now, there is one more factor which you have to consider, that is during your studies, how are you going to fund yourself? Now, to fund yourself, majority of the students, the mistake that they do is they go and stand in line to become a delivery boy, a restaurant service guy, or like waiter, or supermarket executive, something like this. Now, these are all non-skilled areas, okay? But there are certain areas which are skilled areas. This is what we always suggest to our students, where the competition level decreases drastically, so your pay increases drastically. Like, for example, you become a delivery guy for say a pizza or some food services or some supermarket. Now, your pay is roughly anywhere between 7 to 8 euros per hour. Now, you become a teaching assistant or a graduate scholar or a research assistant, library assistant, dorm assistant, any of these. Now, automatically your pay ranges from anywhere between 8 to 14 euros, depends upon the university and the region you are there. So and second thing is, because you are into a skill sector, you are not really worried about working in a restaurant. You are more focused on quality jobs. Now, other than that, there is next level of this, like becoming English tutor, chefs, so IT support or automotive engineer, or anything which has to do with critical skill where you're not in line with everybody else. I'll give you one very interesting example so that you all are understanding what I'm trying to say. Um, while I was in UK, there was a student who was studying MBA in entrepreneurship. It was an 18-month program. There was no stay back when we were there. She was basically from Nepal. She was not just, I mean, she was studying here, and we know that a lot of students who go from here, first thing that they always look for is part-time jobs. Well, everybody were worried. She got into a beauty salon. She was a beautician already. She had done some beautician course. While studying MBA in entrepreneurship, she started working as a beautician. While everybody were earning anywhere between 600 to 800 euros per month, her income was anywhere between 1,800 to 2,500 euros per month. So euros per month, yes. That time UK was still under euros. So the whole difference was her salary was still the same. She was just paid about 8 to 10 pounds per hour. But the tipping was very high because she was very good with her clients. Now, beautician is a critical skill. So is a baker. So is a chef. Or so is English tutors in Germany. If you are an IT guy who is already having some work experience, you are a critical skill there. You are a requirement there. So if you are an automotive engineer, you are a requirement there. Any of these areas, our recommendation always is identify a critical skill. I'm sending one student again for UK this year for data sciences. He's an engineer. He's an IT engineer. He has done his computer science engineering, and he's going for data sciences program in one university in UK. But the best part that he's doing, you would not believe, is he's learning hairstyling. He has a passion towards hairstyling, so he's learning hairstyling. How many of the students do you think would be learning hairstyling or going with the hairstyling skill into a country like UK? The moment he goes, within 15 days to 1 month, he will get a job. He will land in a job, while others will be still struggling or searching and applying and trying for their network to apply for a job, because there will be nobody else who would want to do a hairstyling work, but he is getting into that. That is called critical skill. I hope you all understood what I meant by critical skills. So moving forward, after you have completed your education, next comes your full-time jobs. Germany gives 18 months stay back for any student who go to their country to work full-time in their country or search for jobs in 18 months. Majority of the students, 95% of the students, they land in a job because there are that many opportunities in that country or across Europe for that matter. So there means, and another plus point of Germany is because it's a part of European Union, your German qualification is considered of high value. So if you have even a little bit of connections within somewhere around in the country, like say for example Netherlands or Sweden or France or Ireland, you ideally land up in a job. That's the opportunity that they have. Now, I hope you got this idea. The full-time jobs. Now that's a then comes the residence permit. Okay, just a minute. Others are also joining. Give me a minute. Okay, Nanada, I'll be answering your question just after this presentation. And anybody else who have questions, start please putting on the chat box. We'll be answering as and when we go forward. So, how does your whole process start? Basically, you start means if you are in your final semester now, this is the time you start for next year summer intake. If you are in your fourth semester, you start with your preparation for your IELTS and GRE. So if you're already working and you have already started, good for you. You go ahead, let us know if we can help you with. Now you start with your interest, start with your IELTS and GRE planning if you need GRE, and start learning German. That is something which we usually recommend you. Then meanwhile, also start prepping for student profiling. You need our help, we are there. I'm telling you again and again. But it's not absolutely necessary. You would want us. If you don't want us, you are absolutely free to go ahead. Do ask us for support. We will be happy to help you with. So you got to get your student profiling done. Then identify the universities, research the universities, and start shortlisting 10 universities at least. Then go for documentation. Collect all the documents that is required. I have presented that in the previous slides. And then start the application. Your application ideally goes on individual university websites or universities. There are different ways of doing that. Once you have identified the university and shortlisted that, get into the submit the fees that they have asked for. Say, which it will be usually minor fees like 25,000 rupees or like I told you, 250 to 500 euros, depend upon the university and the region. Pay the fees, pay the health insurance fees, and then get the admission connect. Once you have admission confirmation, then your visa process starts. And once your visa process starts, then your flight planning happens. So the entire process takes anywhere roughly between 12 to 18 months. So you got to start as early as possible. That's something which we always recommend. If you're already halfway through, 6 to 8 months is a good start. So with this, I am done. Seema ma'am, if you have anything to share, you're most welcome to share.
Thank you, Dr. Guru. I just saw a question from Ninad. So I'll just want to take that up.
Yes, sure.
He has a question. So what I'm finding a little conflicting is that in the blocked account, we need to show 9 odd lakh rupees available with us. But for the DAG scholarship, we need to show that a family has an income of lesser than 6 lakhs. Could you please give some clarity on this aspect as well? Okay, Ninad, I'll take that up for you. 6 lakh annual income, that's the family income. Now, these are two different things. They are going to give you a scholarship if you come under, you fall into the middle class family where they're not able to support you. Okay? 9 lakhs, what has been mandated by the German government, is for your living expense. Okay, you need to have that money to survive in Germany. So, be it education loan, okay, you need to fund that money. 6 lakhs is your family's annual income. So, maybe they have saved up in years to accumulate that 9 lakhs, which has to be contributed towards your living expense in Germany. The German government has mandated this because they are giving you sponsorship or they are giving you free education when it comes to tuition free. So because you cannot manage your living expense, there are many students who give up their studies halfway and come back because they're not able to survive. They're not able to meet their daily requirements. So to stop this, to curb this, German government has mandated that your living expense, 1 year living expense money has to be there in the account so that you don't withdraw or you don't drop out. You complete your education. Ninad, have I answered your query or do you have any more doubts?
Yeah, that was pretty much clear.
Okay, thank you, Ninad.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. I think Nina is convinced. Yeah. Then there's next question from Manoj. After 10th, I have done diploma in metallurgy and I am pursuing mechanical engineering. Can I get a good college in Germany? Manoj, I think yours is a golden profile, honestly speaking. Of course, yeah, and I hope your percentage and your scores, academic scores, are also equally good. In that case, you don't need to worry at all. You will definitely get into good universities, top ranked universities. Make sure that you maintain a good academic score. When I say good academic score, your scores has to be above 8.5 CGPA. Then Isha, what is the average salary for an MBA student, and what is the requirement needed to get into a good German public university? Okay, Isha, there are a few factors when you're talking about MBA. Which particular area in MBA you want to pursue? Like, for example, there are critical skill areas again in under MBA as well, like something like logistics and supply chain management, business analytics, operations management, to some extent accounting as well. So these are the areas which are considered as high job worth areas. Then when another area is HR, marketing, promotions, advertising, little generic areas where people can easily get in. See, any country for that matter or any region for that matter, they always give first preference for their people, just like how we do it in Karnataka. If you have seen or observed, as simple as that. So likewise, even in Germany, their first preference is always for their students, their people. Now they would want to give away jobs which their people cannot take. Now, what they cannot take are the non-generic areas. That is where the critical skills come into picture. I hope I gave you the answer, Isha. You can definitely look for MBA as an option. If you want more details, I am myself an PhD in organization behavior. So let's connect one-on-one. I'll be able to give you much more clarity on that. Uh, I think Isha just send me a understood note. Then I'll think that you're clear with this. Pawan,
Dr. Guru,
yeah.
I just want to buzz in. There is one more question which I'm eager to answer.
Huh.
That is from Mr. Kunju. Okay, he's asking, can I stay in Germany after marrying a German girl? Okay, Kunju, the webinar that we are conducting today is for students who are, or prospective students who are looking to have a free education or a career in Germany. We are not having a matrimonial webinar, so I think you're in the wrong place.
Nonetheless, yes, you can do that. Okay, you can definitely do that, and you will have your life set. Okay. Thank you, Seema ma'am. Now, I hope I have cleared Isha's question. Then, can you just give us an idea of job hunting after graduation? See, Pawan, there are many ways of getting into job. Okay, like for example, even what we have done is we have tied up with multiple placement agencies in Germany who support our students with part-time jobs and full-time jobs. There are many placement support agencies, just like how we have in India. One thing is German. See, the university itself is giving you a free education, so they don't bother much with respect to placement. But still, they have something called as student services departments in all the universities. Most of the universities has it. Now, what the student services department does, or the responsibility of the student services department is, they put up notices of jobs available in the local area and around surrounding regions. That will be one source of your job hunting. Second one is the network that you will create. One of the most important factor, anybody going abroad, not just for Germany, any countries, is we insist them to build up your network. Get into different groups, university groups, get into different alumni groups, start connecting with alumni on LinkedIn, have a LinkedIn profile, start connecting to professors. So that will help you with your job opportunities. One thing is for sure, which I can with hands down assure you, Pawan, that is there is not as big as a competition as India. In India, supply is more, sorry, demand is more, supply is high, demand is less. But over there, demand is high, supply is comparatively lesser. So the competition level is comparatively lesser still. So I hope I have given you the clarity about your job hunting factor. How is the opportunity for how is the opportunity in Germany for civil, and what is the average salary? See, average salary for civil students is anywhere between, to start with, 3,000 to 5,000 euros. That's the average salary. It varies for the students. There is good scope. See, one thing is there, Rahul. Civil is like, it's a requirement. Whether you want it or not, it's there everywhere. Some point of time it will be lower on the cycle, some point of time it will be higher on the cycle. It just depends upon the time and the place you're going for. As of now, civil and construction management has high value in Germany. That much I can tell you about. I hope I have given you the answer. Kunju's answer ma'am has already given, so I don't need to answer that again. And are there any scholarships funding options from India for pursuing studies? Absolutely, Sam. There are many scholarship options. See, I don't. If you are from Karnataka, there is something called as. There are many scholarships. Recently, one of our students, she applied for Padopade scholarship. She didn't wanted to go on somebody's mercy because she thought she was a very good girl. She thought that she not taking one scholarship will benefit another person who can take a scholarship because she is a little well off. Now, what she did is she took up loan, but she applied for Padopade scholarship, which is of Government of India. She comes from minority background. Now, what that scholarship does is they take away the interest value until you start earning. Like if you are applying for a scholarship, for an bank loan, your loan interest calculation starts from the day the bank disburses the money. Now, what Padopades does is the interest value, the Government of India will fill that money. So there are a lot of many other scholarships which are given by Government of India. There are many non-governmental organizations. There is people like Tata, Infosys Foundation, Azim Premji Foundation. They all give away some scholarships. We just have to hunt it down. I hope I have given you the clarity on that part, Sam. Now, once reaching Germany, can we send back the money from the blocked account? Yes, but not immediately. That's what we were telling Juman. What you got to do is month on month they release you 853 euros. If you are not using that money, if you are working and you are taking care of your food and living expenses, you can send that money back. It's up to you whether you want to keep that money and send everything together, or you want to send whatever money you have. I hope you got the clarity on that. Sima ma'am, have I said it right?
Yeah, I'll just give a little more clarity on that.
Yes.
How it works is because there is another question in the chat box that does the blocked account get activated immediately? No, it does not. What happens is once you arrive into Germany, you need to register yourself with the college. Okay, once you do the registration, you get your student ID or a registration certificate. There's some kind of a documentation that you get from the college. Okay, taking that, you have to go and open a savings account in a local bank in Germany. Okay, once your savings account is open, okay, with the help of that registration letter, you need to take that, your student ID and registration details and your saving account details to your blocked account. You have to give them those details, and then from your blocked account, every month, 863 euros will be transferred to your savings account. Hope I'm clear. Now, in that savings account, you can either withdraw your money or you can just keep it over there. It is totally up to you. But blocked account will mandatorily transfer every month 863 euros from your blocked account to your savings account. So there are some students who do not touch their money if they are having a part-time job. Okay, they accumulate that money, and supposing they are doing a 2-year course, then next year they deposit the same amount back into the blocked account. So blocked account is only for 1 year. But if you're doing a 2-year course, you don't have to deposit 2 years' money. You have to deposit 1 year money. But next year, again, before your semester starts, you have to have that 10,500 euros in the account. I hope I'm clear.
Thank you, Seema ma'am. I think it's pretty much clear. We move on to next question. Kaushal, can you give more clarity on GPA requirements for TU9? Okay. Kaushal, see, for TU9, I will put a straightforward point here. 9 CGPA all through, 10th, 12th, and undergrad. Ideally, 9+ is always suggested. 8.5 is acceptable, but it's a little risky. GRE 310 and above, IELTS 7.5 and above. In ideal condition, you should have at least 2 to 3 internships, short internships you have done if you are in your final year. If you are already working, 1 year work experience is good enough. I think this should be your plan of action for TU9. I hope I gave you clarity on that. I move on to Raksha. Would you help us suggesting few travel insurance companies, health and travel insurance companies? I think Seema ma'am, this is your jurisdiction. For Raksha Sheth.
Sure, sir. Now, travel health insurance, that is a requirement for visa. You can purchase that here before you submit your visa. You get it for, it depends. There are different packages that are provided by different service providers. So, you have something like golden and silver, those kind of packages. It ranges anywhere between 1,700 rupees to 2,600 rupees. The validity is 3 months. Okay, so when you apply for visa, you have to purchase a travel health insurance. This covers your insurance during your travel, and like suppose you apply for visa, your intake is in October, and you apply for visa 3 months prior. So you need to give a date as per your presumed travel date. Okay, maybe in mid of September something you'll travel, so that will have a validity of 3 months. This insurance expires as soon as you land in Germany. This is a travel health insurance. I hope that's clear. Thank you, Guru sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So now, next question: what is the scope for 7.8 CGPA in mechanical engineering and masters in? This works, Karthik. I think that should be fine. 7.8 CGPA with no backlogs or no gap is a good to go option. You can go ahead and think about it. Now, I have graduated in EC engineering and wanted to do MS in math. Can I get a good German public university? You can actually, Manvit, but again, you will have to give a justification why you want to deviate from electronics or electronics and communication to math. If you have some work exposure or internship exposure or paper writing exposure, or there is a credible reason for you to move to or deviate yourself, that should work. Yeah, that has to be a very strong reason. I hope I have given you the answer, Manvit. Sir, currently I'm pursuing MTech in MIT Manipal and studying in second semester. Do I have a chance of completing my second year in Germany? Numan, I usually that's going to be difficult because Germany is very bad in terms of credit transfers, not very clear in terms of credit transfers. So either you complete your program and then think about your masters, or you will have to drop out and get into this, which I wouldn't recommend. Complete your program and jump over, unless you really want to drop out of this whole program and then try something else. I hope I have given you the clarity on that. Okay, I hope I have. How crucial is CGPA in getting into TU9 university? That is one of the key factors, Vishwa. It is definitely a crucial factor, but nonetheless, it's not the factor. There are many other alternative options also you can look at. Now, Manoj, can you please explain about internships? How can we do it? See, I think, Manoj, in your final year, you are, however, going to do internships. But what we recommend is when you are in your in between your third year and fourth year, you have a gap period. Your in between about 1.5 to 2 months gap period. Try doing one internship over there. While you're doing your project, if you're doing a project, try doing one more internship during that time. This will actually cover up for your, that's called as ECTS. Okay, there is something called as European Credit Transfer System that covers or that helps you with fulfilling that ECTS also. I hope I have given you that answer. Isha, is 7.5 to 7.8 good academic score? Yes, Isha, that is a good academic score, definitely. If you can improve, that's well and good, but otherwise also this is a good score. You can definitely get into a good university. Does your VTU CGPA even matter? The syllabus is just so outdated. And see, I don't, means we should not be commenting anything on that. But yes, VTO CGPA is considered, definitely not a problem. Raksha, does blocked account open as soon as we reach Germany, or is there any document to be provided? Seema ma'am, I think this is your domain.
Sorry, sir, I missed out. Could you repeat the question, please?
Does blocked account open as soon as we reach Germany, or is there any documentation to be provided?
Okay. Okay. Like I have already addressed that before, but I will repeat. Block account needs to be activated. For that, you have to first register yourself in your college. You get a registration letter or your student ID, all those formalities you get from your college. You take that paperwork, and then you need to open a savings account in Germany. In a local bank in Germany, you have to open your savings account. And then you have to take those saving account details, and then your blocked accounts get activated when you submit the savings account details. The blocked account then transfers every month 863 euros to your savings account. So once you submit the savings account details and your registration details, the blocked account gets activated. It takes around 15 days to get activated.
Thank you, Seema ma'am. I think you got clarity on this, Raksha. Next question, Gurraj sir, how many seats are available for international students in public universities? Sir, there is no Gurraj, there is no restriction on the seats with respect to public universities. There are means it depends upon year to year. This year intakes are a little less. So in fact, to be honest, we means any outsiders don't get to know that. University to university, other universities do not get to know how many seats are available or not. Mostly these are all with the universities. I'm sorry, I cannot give you exact answer on that because that's a hazy thing. There is a smoke screen around that. So, Pawan,
hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Dr. Francesca here. But if students are curious to know overall how it works, is around last 2019 data. If we see around 4 lakh students are the number that has been considered for. Is the number that international students went to these universities.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I hope that gives you some answer, Gurraj. Thank you, ma'am. Now, Pawan, I'm pursuing electronics and communications in BE. Can I change my branch and apply to IT courses in my master's? Yes, you can actually, Pawan. Again, like I told earlier, you will have to give a strong justification in your letter of motivation why you are switching. Why you want to deviate yourself. You need to have a background in that. That is one thing which is a must. At least some exposure to that particular area, why you are getting it. Unless you are changing completely from engineering to management or commerce, that's a different story. I hope you are clear with the answer, Pawan. Sir, if we receive any German scholarship, is there any bonds we have to sign? Actually, Gururaj, that's a good thing. They don't have any bonds as such, but they expect you to honor their scholarship. Means you got to stay for 18 months and then you have to come back. If you are staying further to that, you got to give us a reason why you are staying back. Means maybe for the job, or you got a work permit, or you have a job which you wanted to get in always. Those justifications are acceptable. I hope you are clear with that. Then Ronak, I have GRE score 311, a pointer of 5.2 in NITK. What all options I have? Ronak, I think this would require a one-on-one discussion. We will have to do a little more research on this and then only come up with a possible answer for you. Do not want to give you a rough answer and then send you off. So we will possibly connect some other time and can try and explore. I'm not very sure how I can really help you with, but if not pure public universities, we can even always try semi-public universities which are of good ranking. Just keeping you informed on this. I hope I answered your question. There's still 26 questions to answer. Very quickly we'll go through, or else your time is running out. Will internships and good CGPA score make up to 7.9 CGPA? Absolutely. Good GRE score, I'm sorry. Will internships and a good GRE score make up for a 7.9 CGPA? Yes, it will actually, Atharva, it will work out for you. Definitely, you can look into that. Raksha San's question is answered. Sir, how Vishwa's question, sir, how crucial is network with the professors? Like if we had already connected with the professors during internship, will that help CGPA being equal to? Definitely, Vishwa. See, one of the key, I would say, connecting factors for you to the industry, especially in the West, like countries like Germany, anywhere in Europe and North American region, is your professors, because they do a lot of consulting assignments for industries, big industries actually. So your network with them, your goodwill with them always comes in handy. That's my honest opinion by experience also. And you have good CGPA. I think you should be able to get in easily. Now, Rahul has a question. I have graduated in civil engineering and I am thinking of doing MS in transportation. Can I get into a good public university? Definitely, Rahul. This can actually. You can get into transport management or construction or logistics. Not an issue. You can. It's a possibility in a German public university. Uh, I'm doing BTech in civil engineering. Okay, you're doing BTech in civil engineering. That should work, actually, Rahul. That should work. Sir, what is the fees that your organization offers for counseling? Isha, it varies actually. It depends upon university to university. When say, for example, you are going to a semi-public or a private university, we don't charge anything. For public university, we also have around 12 highly qualified resources who have come back from Germany and who work with us here in Bangalore and all. So for their support, we usually charge something. Usually we discuss that with the student and their parents one-on-one. We explain what are the factors. Whatever fees we charge, that is something I would outrightly want to tell you guys. Whatever fees we charge, we only take that money if and only if you get an offer or a visa. Visa is cleared. If you don't get your visa or if you don't get an offer, we usually return back that money. So that's the policy that we have been following from the beginning, and we remain on that policy. I hope I have given your answer. But if you want more answer, you can always connect with us. I would request ma'am, Francisca ma'am and Seema ma'am to please put your numbers so that, in case of any questions on these kind of things, sensitive things, they can ask you personally. Meanwhile, guys, we also give away a certificate of attendance for your webinar if it comes in handy for you, if any use for you. So Seema ma'am will be posting one link for you all. You can give a feedback on that link, and then we will also attach a certificate for your mail with that feedback form. Okay, so please do give your feedback. I think you all got your answer. Okay, joining the webinar was helpful. Okay, I'm happy that it was helpful for you. I'm doing my 5th semester of bachelor's in hotel management. I want my master's in hotel management. What are the opportunities? Madhushri, definitely hotel management is rather, if you can ask me, is in particular chef and bakery chef and even wine testers are considered as critical skills in Germany. So you can definitely think about it. For more information, you can always reach out to us. We will be happy to guide you on that. Your percentage, you should not be having backs, especially for applied sciences and anything to do with hotel management and all. You're not supposed to have any backs, no gaps. And your percentage has to be at least above 7 CGPA and above, roughly about 65% plus. That's the bare minimum you have to keep in your mind. I hope I have given you your answer. Good evening. iPhone could not speak at the beginning due to some of the net issues. Thank you, Simon. Okay, good to hear. Thank you, Juman. Yes, we'll be in touch with you. Very informative session. Thank you. Okay, I think I have answered everybody's question. Thank you very much for your time. We are also tired. Thank you, Seema ma'am. Thank you, Francisca ma'am, and all the colleagues who joined here to support our friends here. Anybody, any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be happy to support you in any way possible. And remember, money is not our priority. Helping students is our priority. So we will stick to that policy. Any help, please do reach out to us. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, everybody. Please do fill the form. Don't forget to fill the form, please. Thank you, Vishwa. Good day, bye. Thank you, Sam. Yeah.